Hello and welcome to today's episode of Authentic Achievements, where it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by the fabulous Sairan Aqwari. Sairan, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kim, for having me.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this conversation, and we were already getting stuck in. So before we do, for those of us that haven't met you yet, let me tell the audience a little bit more around you. So Sairan is a seasoned professional with a rich background in engineering and business coaching. She's dedicated to driving technical solutions and advancing organizational excellence. With a strategic mindset and strong problem-solving skills, she excels in designing and implementing comprehensive solutions that meet the highest standards in the industry. Her extensive experience in systems integration engineering encompasses engineering design, quality assurance, and compliance, ensuring successful project delivery through goal-orientated management. So what a fascinating background. And I love the combination of that engineering, that problem solving, that kind of like constant drive to find an alternative, with also the broader business element, because they go so beautifully together. But it's quite rare, isn't it, to see somebody with your combined set of skills?
Yes, it's a combination between the IQ and the EQ. So when you are having your IQ, you're good in math, you feel like life is good, you are an engineer, you make good money, you solve equation, you have a good job. What else you need? No, you need the other part. You need the emotional intelligence. You need the communication. You need the leadership. Being good in math doesn't put you at the front. You need to know more skills in order to be distinguished and differentiated from other coaches.
Oh, I love that. And it is so true, isn't it? Because the people that we're going to lead are just that, people. And
Yes.
they're going to have, they're going to have, people are messy, aren't they? We don't follow the path. We've got all these emotions that creep in when they're not supposed to. And we have to be able to understand that and find the skills and the strategies to manage that, which very often, to your point, comes through that EQ element, doesn't it? It comes through that understanding and empathizing and I guess being open to including them and giving them permission to be part of the solution. I think sometimes that's one of the things that I've seen get missed occasionally is, we give the person the solution, we don't allow them to be part of it, and then we wonder why they don't grasp it and run with it, because they're there going, well, I don't think that's going to work. So how have you found that combination has really helped you in supporting other businesses and other leaders to really grow?
I feel like I didn't found it. It found me. Like I never thought about me speaking, writing book or mentoring or coaching, because all my life, like I said, I graduated many years ago just doing engineering. I never thought about me speaking about women leadership, finding their niche or niche, like we said in US. I never thought about that, Kim. Never, never, never in my life. What's happened is while I was finishing my master's degree, I pursued my doctoral and I wanted to pursue my doctoral in engineering. And the same time, while I was preparing for my first semester, I had the opportunity to speak with a group of younger engineers about the real life of younger engineer after graduation. Do they have to have certain skills in order to find their spot in the engineering world? And while I was speaking with them, they thought I'm a life and business coach. I never even knew what is that, because all my life I was solving 1 + 1 = 2, just designing, being good in math, all the IQ stuff. So then I become curious and I was like, what is this ICF? Let me just check it out. I checked the ICF. I fell in love with the mentoring and coaching packages. I took the exam. I become an ACC. Then I decided 2018, maybe I should start something that aligned with my passion, married to my skills, because I feel, Kim, passion is not enough. You can dream and have passion. If you don't take action, you don't add the skill and mastery to it, you are not going anywhere. So I established a website. So before I had a different niche, I was in transition expert. So basically, I was helping those women who move internationally to US to find their American dream. I've done that niche for a couple of, I would say 4 or 5 years. Then I found out that I can even give more. So I expand my niche. Now my new niche is business coach. So what I do, I help or guide midlife women to find their hidden gem while they are working. I'm not going to ask you to quit your job. I'm just going to ask you, what is that thing inside you? It's buried and hidden and is a real gem. How you can bring that gem out and share it with the universe.
Oh, I love that, because I think we have, we've all got a something in us that is ours to give, or something that is something that's unique about each and every one of us. Somebody asked yesterday why there's a thumbprint as my logo, and it's like, because every single one of us is as unique as our fingerprints. There is no two that are the same, even twins. And so we've got to find the what's in us that we're here to serve, that we're here to share with the world. And what I love is that you're using your lived experience of being an engineer, being a female leader, being in business, to now help other people to kind of overcome some of those hurdles, some of those, we chatted before we came on the show, didn't we? Some of those things where, as women, we can have a tendency to focus on what we've not good enough at yet, where we're not ready yet. And I think there was actually some research done that showed that women apply for jobs 2 years after they're ready, and men apply for jobs 2 years before they're ready. And that's because we're predisposed, maybe in the way that we've been brought up. Men look at the job description, see all the things they can do already. Women look at them and see all the things they can't do yet. And yet the reality is we're somewhere in between. So I love that you've taken that and kind of used that to help inform your gift and how you share that with the world.
Totally true. And speaking about the difference between us and men, I see it at the workforce. I mean, 99% of the construction and system integration are, male dominant. And I see in the meeting that a lot of them, even though that I'm curious, I asked them, do you really know what you just talked about? They said, no, we just Google it. I was like, wow, that's brave, right? But I have to be expert. I have to master it. I have to be perfect, like you said, ready for 2-3 years in order for me to raise my hand. And that's the thing that I tell my female client. I tell them you have so much potential. You have it there. You are just not brave enough to declare that potential. You have it. You just have to show it to the universe and act on it, because no one will dig those potential on you. You have to share it and speak up. You have to have that voice saying, I can do this. I have way more to leave here. I need a fingerprint. I need to have my spot. I need to have my chair on that table. Don't say that I cannot do and and expecting other to take you seriously. You are the one who's not claiming your spot. How comes you are complaining they are not giving you your spot? You are not claiming it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I always tell the younger engineers, they when they come and when they just graduate, they come to the meeting room and they end up sitting beside the door. And I said, why you are in the background? Well, we don't need to be on the table. Okay, why? I was still young. I don't have experience. Okay, if you are not coming to the table, if you are not participating, if you are not having a voice, how comes you expecting other to give you a value? You are not giving the value to yourself. Don't expect people just to hand it to you. You have to claim it. You have to say, I have skill. And I'm not saying faking it. No, be competent. Go and do your homework, right? Have the facts, read the book, get the credential. I'm not saying just come and fake it that you are perfect. No, you just have to be competent, but claim it and declare it to the universe.
I love that. It so resonates, and certainly it wasn't something I did until I got much older. In my earlier life, I might have done the job and gone and got all the qualifications and things, but spent all my time thinking I was going to get found out. Someone was going to spot that actually I'm just an ex-hairdresser. Probably shouldn't have been on the board of these big banks. And of course, it wasn't true, and nobody did ever go, "Oh, look, we put the hairdresser on the board. Let's get her off." But for a lot of years, that was the story I told myself, the bit on the inside that said, don't step out, don't be too seen. I was growing up in a world where girls could be seen and not heard. And clearly, Sairan, I've failed dismally at that. Since I now spend my time interviewing amazing people like you and learning their stories. But I think for me, that was part of it. And I've got a little 7-year-old and little girl. And for me, it's really important that she realizes that there's nothing in the world we can't do as long as we're kind and we try hard and we're willing to admit and learn from our mistakes, so that we constantly iterate, we're constantly changing, that adapting and looking at that. And I guess what intrigued me about your background is the fact that you are an engineer. You must constantly be looking at what worked and what didn't work and iterating. So it's evolution, not revolution, isn't it? It's like not everything will be broken. It's a bit of it that will be broken. And that feels like it so resonates, particularly in your niche, around actually how do we take that individual lived experience and iterate on it to be able to identify what is our passion, what is our purpose. And I loved how you so eloquently pulled those two together, that says, we can be passionate without action, without consistency, without intention, I guess.
Yeah.
It will remain just that, just a dream, won't it?
Yes, and you said it well now, Kim, when you said we tell those stories or the same narrative on and on, especially women. And like I said, 80% of my clients are women, and it's hurt me when they keep saying the same stories happened 10 years ago. I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I'm not fit, I'm not skinny, I'm not beautiful, I'm not young anymore. All negative connotation. And I said, can you tweak those words? The more you say to yourself, you're going to start believing on it, not just manifesting it. It's not just that, it's just you start being so comfortable and that space of victim mentality. You said, oh, no, I'm not capable, I'm not going to do it. You are the one who keep telling yourself that. No one told you this. You are the one who's saying that to yourself. And I feel, even in network event, I feel this about me. When I'm too comfortable in a place, let's say the whole audience are engineers, I don't see that I'm growing. But when I go to a place, let's say there are expert in finance or AI or marketing, I'm challenging my ability. So I learn more because I'm in uncomfortable situation. I'm in uncomfortable networking. So I will ask more questions. When I leave that place, I'm in a better mindset because I learned something new. But if you threw me in a bunch of civil engineer, I will just talk about the design and the manual forever. So boring. But if I go to a place that I don't belong to, it's better. So what I'm trying to say is when you leave that comfort old narrative and you tap on the uncomfortable, that's where your progress and growth is. And I see that all the time. The first time I speak on the stage, the first time I did podcast, the first time that I write something or a blog or an articles in magazine or a book, I was so uncomfortable. I was just sweating and questioning every word I put. But now I'm not saying it's so easy, but I knew I'm capable to do it because I tap on the uncomfortable. I just left that old narrative and I say, hey, no, I'm able to do it. And what I do with the client, I always tell them about my old story when I came to United States. I was in my 20, not married, no kids yet, but I had so much short in many things, the degree, the language, the culture. And I told them, if I'm able to do that in over 20 years, what is preventing you to do the same?
Yeah.
I didn't have any supporting system. I came alone to US. I was 26 years old. Couple of $100. I didn't even know what I'm doing. And many times I got to a position, Kim, not kidding. I wanted to take a flight and just go back.
Yeah.
Because everything was available to me back in Iraq. The parents, the support system, sibling, culture, everything was familiar. And in US, nothing was familiar. But I ended up embracing the unknown and just challenged myself. I said, nope, I'm going to do it. Other people done it before me. What is preventing me? Where are those blocks? I will see those blocks. I'll go through them or I just climb them and
Yeah.
do it. Yep.
Oh, I love that, because I think it's I think they're the parts, aren't they? One of the things I thought was one of my greatest leadership lessons was learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because people will make situations uncomfortable. They'll be messy and they'll be human and they'll be emotional. And therefore, if we can only ever deal with comfortable, we're going to be uncomfortable for a lot of our life, because those bits will creep in, won't they? And sometimes when we face that uncomfortability, and you were saying about you're getting all nervous and sweaty when you first had to do a speech, we first had to do a podcast. I remember a couple of years ago doing my TEDx, and the guy who ran it came to see me afterwards, and he said, "You were hilarious." And I was like, "Why?" He said before you went on, he said you were doing people's hair and makeup, you were helping everybody else that was speaking, you were giving them pep talks, you were making sure that everybody felt really, really comfortable. And I was like, right. He said, then I watched what you did to yourself before you went on. I was like,
Yes.
You saw that. I actually stood and looked at my reflection in the glass window just outside as we were backstage. And having been really supportive of everybody else, I just looked at myself and went, for crying out loud, it's 12 minutes of your life. You're not going to die. Get over it.
Yes.
And that was my pep talk to myself, but that wouldn't have been my pep talk to somebody else. But to your point, I think sometimes it's the how do we, how do we push through the fear we've created in our own brains. So we're fearful of what people will think of us, or that it won't work, or that we'll look silly, or 100 fears that we've created. But all the things we're hopeful for were also created in the same way, weren't they? So they're equally credible, and yet we choose to believe that the things that we don't want to have happen, the thing that we fear, is more likely and more credible. And so I love that what you're doing is helping people realize that fear is self-made.
Yes.
And or they can change. They can choose to go with the other side of that fear and focus on instead of what if I fall, what if I fly? What if it really works? So how do you help your clients to make the journey? Because sometimes getting started is the hardest step, isn't it?
Yes, true. And the start always is the hardest, because sometimes, most of the time, you are still not clear what exactly you want. This is why the start is like your foot in the mud. How can I get out of that mud? And that's what I tell my client the very first session with them. Are you clear where you're going? Because they give me 10 scenario. I want to do this and this and that. Many of them, I want to do my master, I want to get pregnant, and I want to have a better job, and I want to do sport. Okay, wait, what is the priority? Are you clear? Is there is a destination? And I always tell them this example, which they love. I said, okay, when you go to a place, let's say you are invited to a wedding or you're going to an event and you've never been in that place. You go to the car and you put the direction and the address on the navigator. So the navigator give you two options. Either you go the back road or you go the highway. Which one are you going to choose? You're going to choose one, right? No way your car will be split in two places to go to that destination, right? So basically, even when you move your car, you are clear about the path you are taking. If that's what you do on driving to places, you have to do it the same way in your goals. Don't come and telling me 7 things you want to do in the next 6 months. You are not a magician, not even a magician. We are a human being. We have time, we are tired, we get sick, we have kids, we have in-laws, we have mom and dad parents, we have other obligation and commitment that we need to meet. So when you come with clarity, that's what makes your beginning solid. And again, sometimes I try not to talk like an engineer, but it's pop up automatically because I've been doing it for so many years. So the clarity is like the foundation. When you set up your goals, if your foundation is not solid and hard, your building will collapse. So if
Yeah.
you come with the goal and you are clear what you want to go, you want school, go ahead and start. You want to get pregnant because you are in your late 30? Let's do the pregnancy first. Do you want to go just work and make money? Great. Nothing wrong with none of those options, Kim. But you have to be clear what you're going to do. So that's the foundation. Right after having that clarity, I ask them, are you committed? They said, no. Are you committed? The commitment is what's going to make me be your coach. If you are in this session to chat, and have a cup of tea, I'm not that I'm not that person. You just dial the wrong number and the wrong coach. I will be your friend later when I see your achievement and your goals met. So I tell them after the clarity, I want the focus. If you are not focused, you are going nowhere because
Yeah.
you're just wishing and dreaming and wasting your time and my time as a coach, which is not right because you're paying me an amount to take you from A to B. You are not here to vent. I'm not your best friend. I'm not going to the cafe shop so you can talk about your husband and your daughter or your boss who don't like you at the job. I'm here to as a coach to take you from a place to a better place by guiding you through the process.
Yeah.
So clarity and focus are the two things that you need to start, like answering your question, what is the hard part of them? Clarity and focus. You need those two in order to start the first step.
Oh, I love that. It's so true. And I see it so often, in the people that I work with, is that they're clear on what they don't want. They're not clear on what they do want. So too often we set our goals in the negative. I don't want to be overweight. I don't want to be old. I don't want to be this. I don't want to be the other. And it's like, your subconscious brain doesn't hear don't. It hears the end bit. It thinks that's where you want to go. And I love also that, as a coach, that you want to make sure that you feel like it was a value, that the time that you gave was valuable and it moved the person forward. But they have to be. There's a great book by Marshall Goldsmith on becoming coachable, because actually you've got to be ready to be coached, haven't you? You've got to
Yes,
be
yes,
able to be in that piece. And I've always thought that as a coach, it's almost like you're the critical best friend. You're that best friend that tells you your bum looks big in it before you leave the house, not when you've strutted around for a week and
yes,
velcroing your hand to your head and being feeling the victim. They're there to push you through and to get you to, I guess, view the alternate possibilities, because we live in the world of polarity, don't we? For every
yes,
up, there's a down. For every left, there's a right. So
yes,
whatever we're telling ourselves, the opposite is equally true. And I guess as a coach, it's shining the light on that for them, isn't it? It's lighting their blind spots and allowing them to take action to come through those blind spots. But it does involve them taking action. It can't be, they have to your point, they've got to be able to do the work,
yes,
to face the uncomfortable.
yes,
Um, and so I know you've got your 28-day program. How do you utilize that to help people to really pull those bits together? So to gain that clarity, that absolute clarity on where they're going, to
yes,
ensure that they're fully committed to taking the action, and then to be laser focused on what to prioritize. Because as you say, people can start off, they want to do everything. It's like, okay, that's great, and we can probably get there, but we need to do one thing at a time so that you can celebrate some successes. So can you tell me more about how that works?
yes. Thank you for the question because I get this question a lot when they compare about my old packages and my old niche and the new packages I have in the business coach. I used to have 3 month and 6 month, packages coaching with the client. After a couple of years, I found out those 3 month and 6 months, with all respect, who for those coaches who are still doing it, I respect their task doing it in 3 months for the client. I feel like you lose the momentum after a while because nowadays, after COVID, after AI, a lot of people patient span it's got shorter and shorter and shorter. People want instant success. People want instant relief. They want to feel cured, like they want to go to the doctor and they want to feel better the next day. Things take time, health, and also self development. I can make you a leader woman or more confidence in 48 hours. Again, we are not a magician, we are human coaches and mentors. Yes, I'm a certified ACC, but that doesn't make me someone who change you in 48 hours. I changed the 3 month and 6 month to 28 days only to keep the momentum with the client
Yeah,
about clarity and focus. And the reason why I chose 1 month, less plus minus 2 days, and I'll explain why. Because on that 28 days, I want to be in the journey with the client, gain the clarity, make them so clear about what they really want to do, finding what is their hidden gem. Because my whole purpose of that 28 days journey to make them believe that they are working as a full time, but they still have something inside them as a skill, as a mastery. They need to bring it and make it as a small business or feeling like an entrepreneur or innovator who can solve problem. That 28 days is my job to make them clear and focused. The last 2 days, this is why I'm not completing the 3 month, because the last 2 days they're going to be celebrating. They will
Yeah.
be so happy and confident that finally they landed on what they really want to do. Again, Kim, just for clarification for the audience, my goal is not for you to quit your job. If you are a doctor and a lawyer, I will never tell you, oh, you are an artist, then quit your job. Just do art. No, that's not my goal. My goal is for you not to bury that painting art you have, or the speaking ability, or writing skills, or cooking, or people are handy. I see a lot of women, they make beautiful things in Instagram by their hand. I don't want you to lose that skill. I want you to keep your job. You're still in your 30 and 40, you have bills, you have children, you have daycare. Keep those, but also bring that hidden gem out and monetize it. At least put it on Instagram. And I see it so, I see how people are happy with doing that. First of all, they stop complaining and whining about their day job. They don't like their boss. Oh, oh my God, it's Monday again. I can see his face. But when they have a side business and they are busy doing that side business in the weekend, they don't complain about Monday coming. That's number one. Number two, when they have that small business, yes, it's not making $1 million, but that small business make them feel like a businesswoman and businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. I write books. I speak, right? So it doesn't matter you are in an IT field, but if you are a gifted artist and you paint, paint. Because
Yeah.
when you look at those people with those hidden gems, they do it so well. They don't even feel the time and effort. They are in that room just painting. And you have to remind them, it's you've been in that room for 4 hours. Well, I didn't feel the time. That's
Yeah.
that's what they are good at, right? So my client, either you are a full-time employee or you are an empty nester. Stop crying your son and daughter out of the house and they left me. Nobody left you. It's life. They got married, they are away. You need to reinvent and reborn again. So empty nester, full-time job, or just a stay-home mom, right? Your husband make $1 million. Okay, that's good for him. How about you? What is your impact? What is your sense of belonging? And that's the question I ask my client. Most of them, they come to me and they said, I have everything. I said, what's everything? Oh, I have the good husband, I have the kids, I have the $1 million house, I have the money. Then why you are here? I don't know. I have no joy. What do you mean? I don't know. You tell me, you are the coach. Well, you have not discovered your hidden gem. There is no sense of impact. You wake up in the morning, you put your expensive clothes, everything's perfect around you, but you are not feeling that you are leaving an impact. And that's what is make add the joy in your life, Kim. If
Yeah.
you're not adding a value, if you are not making a change, then you are not different than anybody else. You are just another number in the book. And you don't want that. You want the impact, right?
No, I completely agree, because I think every one of us is leaving a legacy, whether we know it or not. In every interaction, in every conversation, we are leaving an impression of who we are. But if we're not intentional about that impression, if it's not, then it might not be positively impactful. And for me, I've got my little girl who I adore, and she's definitely my North Star. But I have to think, if I'm not spending time with her, it has to be adding value. It has to be doing something that is making something better than it was before. And I love how you talk about, finding the things that bring you joy. And one of mine, that people that have worked with me over the years get to know about, but other people probably don't, is I love cooking. And therefore, whenever anything gets a bit stressful, if things start to go wrong at work, it used to be a well-known fact that I'd come in with baked goods the next day, because how I'd process what was going on and try and work out my path, was to go and do something that didn't involve me having to think. So I'd go and bake like French lemon tarts and things. You have to stand there for hours and just, but because actually they bring me joy, the time would disappear and I'd produce something at the end of it that people enjoyed. So I think being able to align those two can be a great way. Some people meditate. For me, I bake. It's finding those moments where you can just tap into the sources that bring you joy, to recharge your enthusiasm, I guess, for everything else that's got to go on in your world. And once you gain real clarity on that, once you've got real understanding of, to your point, what is that hidden gem and how do we own it and bring it out into the world, then it's amazing what that unlocks in us, isn't it? When we've got that, and we take that ownership.
Yes, yes. And you talked about your little girl, just so cute. Mine is grown up, mine in college. You talk about cooking, that you love and enjoy cooking. As you said, it's like meditation. I mean,
Yeah.
using your hand is the same thing that when people, when they write or they paint or they do things by their hand, it's meditation. I mean, my hobbies has nothing to do with engineering. One of my you know, activity that I love to do that I've been doing since I was my 20, it's swimming. When I swim, I feel like I'm meditating for hours, which is not, I'm moving my body, but just me being friend with that water, with the wave, I feel like I'm meditating and I'm so recharged after I swim. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm ready to write another book because that water wash away all my fears. That's water that I was swimming on. It's wash away all the doubt that I have that I'm not capable to write the second book. So it depends on, you see a lot of doctors, I hear doctors, they play piano, right? I mean, they are physician, but they are good in playing piano. You have a lot of lawyers who love to cook and they are like chef. They are very good in cooking. What is the correlation? What is the relationship between being a lawyer and cooking? Nothing. But that's his meditation part. That's the part that he rewind and you refresh because we are human. You play with your girls. That's not wasting time. I have a professional engineer come to me and they said, "Oh, we waste time because we went to a park, or we haven't read a book, or we haven't, prepared for the next, promotion." I waste. That's not a waste time with your. That's also the spot that you need to thrive and grow in it because your relationship with that child is gonna stay forever. To me, nothing wastes in life. Nothing, nothing, zero. Because when you use that event and you feel it's waste, to me is the lessons. If it
Yeah.
was a bad action, you're not gonna repeat it. If it's good, continue doing it. So where is the waste?
Yeah.
Waste. No.
I love that. I always say to my little girl, in life, there's only ever lessons and blessings or both. So in the moments where you don't feel blessed, you should look for the lesson, and I guarantee the blessing is wrapped up within it. Because often life only makes sense in that rearview mirror, doesn't it? When we look back, we're like, now I get it. That's why all those bits link together. Sairan, I could literally chat to you all day, but I'm really conscious that we're running out of time. Before we go, you've already shared such great insight. Could you tell us, is there anything that you've learned now that you wish you'd learned sooner? Some advice you'd give your younger self?
Advice I give my younger self. I wish if I told myself in my late 20 and 30 that I am capable to do everything I'm doing now. Me changing anything, nothing. I wanted to go through all the pain, obstacle, crying, disappointment that I've been through because those what's for me, who make me right now. I don't want to change anything, but this is a message to all younger women who are younger than me. You have so much potential. Have faith, believe in yourself, and just take action. Without action, you can do anything.
No, I love it. So true. And I'm a big believer of the fact that I am not a victim of my circumstance. I'm a product of my choice, because in everything there's choice. I don't always like the choices, but we do always have them. So when we take that ownership, that's amazing. And then just before we go, can you tell the people listening how they get in touch with you and who you help, so that they can better connect?
Yes. I believe because my background and my current job, full-time job, is engineering. So I get client in both. I get client who are seeking to scale in their engineering. They look at my LinkedIn and they see that I have done so many variety of engineering aspect, from, construction to leadership to design. So they contact me in LinkedIn, Sairan Aqwari, and that's clear. You can find me in LinkedIn. And if they want to start something small, as a small business, that make them feel a sense of belonging, they can find me on Instagram, Sairan Aqwari in one word, and I'll be more than happy to chat with them. If they mention your podcast, they will get 1 hour complimentary session with me.
Bless you. Thank you so much, Sairan. You've shared such value and such insight. It's been an absolute delight to have you as a guest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim, for having me. My pleasure.
And for everybody listening and watching, I hope you found it equally insightful. And until next time, take care.